Hello again. So in the last video, we had some textures, we had a changing colors, and I used this material properties down here, and I changed these colors. And yeah, I'm building up to a bigger video kind of animation type thing, and I want to show you this part next, even though it doesn't fit in the animation theme of this playlist. Well, here it goes. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this cube into a building, sort of. And by now you're probably, I hope, at least you're familiar with the different views up here. The viewport shading of render view and the viewport shading of the material preview, the look dev mode. And this is just solid mode. This is all the pieces and wireframe. Anyway, here you can see that we have a white color. In the last video I showed you we can change the colors. But if I click on this little yellow dot, there's lots of other things we can put on there. Look at all these different things. For this part, for turning this into a building, we're going to use an image texture. Okay, basically we're going to take a picture and stick it on that mesh. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the tab up here to UV editing. See up here, UV editing. When I click on that, it's a different user interface here where we have this new tab over here, tab, view, panel, over here. And you'll notice that what we have is a flat view of our cube unwrapped. Okay, that's exactly what we want. We want a cube that is unwrapped. So if I add an image, let's just open an image here and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I have a bunch of simple images here. I'm going to use this Autobots symbol that I actually downloaded to make a cookie cutter out of this. I don't think I'll get around to showing you that. But anyway, I'm picking this one because it is a square. Okay, the image itself is square. So when I put that and I select that image, you'll see that our mesh, our unwrapped mesh, which is now flat, it doesn't change. The squares are squares. All right. If I go to my render view here, and you can see here, anyway, this doesn't show what I wanted to show. Okay, so I can hit A to select all of these pieces and S to scale them up. So it's really big. Yeah, so one of these, G to grab and move it down. So one of these faces over here basically is surrounded by our picture. All right, I'm doing a bad job of this. I apologize. But you can see here that I've set it up. It looks straight here, but it's crooked over here. So I can just rotate this 90 degrees. Oh, it went the wrong way. Anyway, just move it. Oh, now it's upside down. Ay, 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 ay. Rotate 180 degrees. There we go. Okay, so now I've got my square picture. I've got my Autobots. I don't know why there's an Autobots. It's just a square picture. Okay, so the point of this Autobot thing is I added a square picture onto a square object. Okay, but what happens if I don't want to use that picture? Now you want to use this picture of this building derelict picture, this one here. See how it's very elongated? It's very wide and only a little bit tall. When I put that on, look what happens to my fabulous mesh. Okay, it gets elongated, just like the picture. Okay, there are some complicated ways of fixing it. You can unwrap differently. See, unwrap here, you can do different things and cube projections and project from view and all this other stuff. Well, now I've kind of broken. Go back to where we were. So here you can see it's elongated, which stretches our picture out. The easiest way is just to scale this down to make them squares again. That's the easiest way. There, it's square-ish. Now scale it up to make it the right size. Okay, what I'm looking at here is this center set of boxes here. I don't care very much about this one and that one. Over here, if I select that, see I've selected the top of this cube, it's representing this, well, that's not the rectangle, and the bottom here is there. So I really only care about these middle ones. I'm going to change the material for these ones later, but anyway, I'm talking too much. Notice that when I grab and I move this around, right, I can change how that picture appears on our cube. Okay, so for this project that I'm working with, that I'm going to show you later, I only need to see one side of this cube, right? It doesn't really matter what they both look like, but you'll notice here, and what I'm doing, that the end of the building is here, and you can see some grass and stuff behind it. That's because that is right here. All right, so I can solve that again by scaling it a little bit on the x-axis, make them more square, because that was my goal originally, squares. And you can see I don't have that because it's not shown right there. I'm just going to randomly pick this side. This is the side that is my goal to see. So if I grab this and I move it along, so so it shows, it lines up with how the pictures might be. So I want the graffiti on the bottom to show up nicely, the painting on set, and the windows line up pretty nicely. I'm going to leave it like that. Okay. But this top and bottom looks fairly ridiculous. So over here in face select mode, I can select that. And then back here, we only have one material, but I can add another one. And I'm just going to make it like a grayish, gravelly roof, something like that, this color right here. And so this face is selected, this gray material is selected, and I hit assign, and now I have a gray roof. So I don't get confused, I'll call it roof instead of gray, right? And I'll call this one walls, so that I know what we're talking about. All right, we're never going to see the bottom, but I could just change the color if I wanted to. All right, and that is a passable building from afar. It looks pretty bad from here, but you can make it a little bit better. Should we make it a little bit better? Okay. So what makes this a bad building is that it is way too flat. So let's add some more stuff to it. You can see along the edge here that there's, in our picture, it looks like there's sort of a ridge, if you will. So I'm going to put in a loop cut right there. And then I'm going to select this whole edge, this whole edge right there. And then I'm going to extrude it out. If I go back to my layout view, it might be a little bit easier. Right, you can see all this stuff now. I'm going to extrude the face out like that. Right, so we're starting to get, it looks a little silly now. Oh, look at that, we got that edge on there again. That's okay. Maybe we're going to lift this up a little bit so we have a more detailed roof. We're going to have to fix this later because, see, now it looks fairly silly with these faces. So let's go back, UV editing, let's fix this. Okay, so we have in our UV editing tab, the building that we have here, we have these edges that we want to fix. Probably this one too. I'm going to be really lazy and, well, maybe, I don't know. Okay, I'll select all these pieces. I'm going to turn all of these pieces into brick. Okay, so we have all these here. Let's just unwrap these ones so they are something like that. Oh, it's a mess over here. It doesn't matter. So if I grab this and move it around, you can see it's changing. If I scale it down, I really only want the bricks. So find a nice place with bricks. I'm going to grab it and move it. There's the bricks. But it's, oh boy, I'm making a mess of this. Oh, because it's elongated the wrong way. Bricks. Oh, yeah. Grab, rectangularize this. Yeah. Grab and move. I've made a mess. I've made a mess of it. I should really just unwrap it. Grab, move. But this is a good note that you can do all of these things. You can move them, all these pieces around. I should be doing like a shear, but this is for very, very basics. That looks stupid. I've made a mess of it. I'm not going to fix it for now. You can see that when I move these things around, it changes the picture. I don't know what that is. I'd be better off turning that into something different. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, whatever. Let's leave it there. The other points I wanted to show. Where am I? Where am I? Let's go back to layout. Okay. If I put loop cuts here, and I'm going to do the same sort of thing for this white tab. Move that down. Yeah. Select these faces here, and face extrude along normals. Push that a little bit. Yeah. So now I'm getting some detail. Right. A little more detail coming out. There's also these pieces up here that I can add. So I'm just going to be adding a whole series of loop cuts, slicing this thing up. Probably use it like this. This one's this edge here is a little weird. You see here, this one goes straight across. This is a very fallen apart building. So, like all my videos here, I'm doing it the lazy way. So if I extrude this out a little bit, get those. Yeah, could add even more loop cuts here. I'm going to indent those windows. Here, just a whole bunch of loop cuts. Hitting Control R, a whole bunch here. That one, that one, that one, and that one, and inset them in a little bit. All right, you can start seeing that it's starting to look more like a, it's giving a little bit more, more of a building. If I go to the full render view, you can see that the edges. This looks way better than this, whatever the heck I've done here. But I think that's about it. That's all we need to do. So you can add an image texture, any picture you want. You can stick it onto a surface of your thing. We also did a little bit of modeling here using loop cuts and extrude, the basics. All right, on to the next.